America aims. Bullets blindly butchering beautiful, broken black boys' bodies, bridging, caskets closed, clinging. America has dug our black boys into holes or pipelines to prison more than you can think of. I'm sorry.
This one's for my dad, who was killed long before the pound sign became hashtag, so they never said his name. He took his last breath at a time where people gave you their 2 cents but never actually spared you change. No justice, no peace. That's what we sound like. We can't be long-lasting voices for our city if we're only being used as sound bites.
Life changed the day I had a son. Felt a feeling deep down that some trouble was to come. A king I deemed destined for a crown until 2 gunshots took my son down. My heart is racing, hands shaking, spirit vexed from the news that I lost my own flesh and blood. Now what I'm gonna do?
Hello world, how are you doing? I welcome you to the best show on television, The Ultimate Peace Talk, brought to you by Lee Back Entertainment and Beauty Company, a show where we talk about peace, progress, and unity whilst we engage the mindset of our future leaders. I'm Isaac Yami and I'm your host for the show. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic that has been trending, if I may say, and we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter. And I have a guest, an amazing guest that I'm going to discuss with this topic. So let's start with introductions first, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is Madaki Zaks. I am the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students in Turkey and 18 countries inclusive. So it's my pleasure being with you, sir.
It's my pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes.
So let's talk about Black Lives Matter. What do you understand by the term Black Lives Matter?
Actually, from the term Black Lives Matters, I don't want to just go and be more self-centered due to the fact that I am black and I said Black Lives Matters. All life matters. When they say something matters means it's important. All life matters. So that means all life, being it black, being you Chinese, being you Asian and Europe, America, all lives matters. But Black Lives Matters is because black in general have been looked upon with a kind of
the dark
cloud times, like as if they are not this important, as if they are inferior people. And I believe that the system in which governs the world have so narrow black people to the fact that they look themselves as if they are not important, as if other people's life matters more than theirs. But I don't think it's like that. But in general, I believe the world should look at black people as important people because we have the same life they have, and black life indeed matters.
I think basically Black Lives Matter it's an international movement as opposed to, yes, all lives matter, but then when it rose into the scene was in America when they were having so much racial injustices and racial profiling and so forth. So that's how Black Lives Matter, if you're watching and you never heard about it. So do you think black people can be universally accepted in the world?
Yes, I so believe that black people can be universally accepted in the world. The first thing you need to know, as a black person, you have to accept yourself. You don't expect somebody that is Turkish or somebody that is Persian from Iraq to start accepting you, to start acknowledging you as a black person without you valuing yourself. So I will want to advise that black people in general, we are important. We are this special being. So for that, we need to value ourselves in order for other people to value us. But in general, black people can be universally accepted because we are as important as the white people.
You're definitely right. And it's quite important that you alluded to the fact that self-love is important, because sometimes I feel like black people, I know that black people don't really love themselves that much, and they try and portion blame to other people. So in that regard, do you think we're the architects to our own problems as black people? Do you think we are the sole responsible people for our problems? What do you have on that?
Yeah. What I will say to you, when you said we are the architect of our own issue, I will say to you no. The reason why I said to you no is you are a black guy. If you see me on the street, or you go in general and you see general people on the street, you will want to communicate with me first before communicating with any other.
Because I'm comfortable.
Yes, because you are comfortable, because of the skin color. Equal like times go together. So we are not really the architect of our issue, because if you don't understand the system in which govern us, definitely you will believe that black people don't like each other. But in the general terms, these people come to Africa, generally. Let me say the European comes to Africa. There's a kind of system they've given. And there's no way another person will come into your own house and give you a rule that will favor you. Definitely, they've brought a system that will make you look at me as a suspect.
As a suspect, yeah. They say our blackness.
As somebody, yes.
When they see us, they think we're just witnesses.
Yes, we are witnesses.
A witness to something. Like they look at you as a potential perpetrator of some delinquency. They never look at us as just normal human beings.
Yes. So due to that fact, it makes you look at yourself as if you are inferior. So I don't believe we are the architect of our problem. But what I so believe, or what I strongly advise the youth, the young people in Africa, is we should stop looking at ourselves. We should start looking at ourselves. We should start respecting ourselves and stop looking. We should stop looking beyond the boundaries. The boundaries were created for us to look at ourselves differently. But if not, we are one. Irrespective of our diversity, our ethnicity, our religion, we are one. So those things were created to make you look at me as being inferior, or maybe look at me as being an outcast. So I believe if we respect ourselves and look at ourselves as being one, we'll definitely know where the problem is. Because the problem is not brought by black people. Generally, the Europeans brought the problem.
I was avoiding to say that, but then what's your take on the fact that people say that because of this race was created by the Europeans, we will never catch up as black people. No. We're always going to be sort of behind. Is that true?
No, I don't believe that we will never catch up as black people. The most special and smartest being on this planet Earth is a black man. Show a black man this water and he produces two. Give him something and he makes it in multiple forms. These are people that can exist anywhere in this planet Earth, can survive any kind of weather, any kind of situation. Then they are really special beings. If we know the system, if we understand the process, believe me, black people will be ahead of any kind of race on this planet Earth. I'm not trying to be racist, but I have to love myself as being black before I can love somebody. So I don't believe we cannot go ahead, or we cannot be ahead of any race.
Okay. Before we get into the solutions of making sure that blacks are not really discriminated within our environment, how have we failed as black people? Before solutions first, how have we failed as black people in our society?
I so believe that a problem known is a problem solved. Once you know a problem, or you know the origin of your problem, definitely you can easily solve it. From beginning, we've tried to make our tribes, our ethnicity to divide us. We know we want so-so tribe or so-so ethnicity want to be superior from the other. which is normal. Even in animal kingdom, we have survival of the fittest, the lion rule, we know. But the moment we start appreciating ourselves and start respecting each other, despite our ethnicity,
Despite our
diversity,
ethnicity, yeah.
then we can forge ahead. With that, we can be able to unite. With that, we can be able to create a system that works for us. Americans cannot create a system that works for you. Europeans cannot create a system that works for you.
us, yeah.
We have to sit
create our own
and
systems,
create
right?
our own system that works for us. So knowing that as a problem and knowing how to start, that will lead us to where we want to get to. So that is what I so believe.
Yeah, I think the part that you really emphasized was on the division, because it's really important that we get unified as a whole country within Africa and then the whole continent at large. So how do you think we can peacefully promote an environment that's healthy for black people in parts of the world where there's so much discrimination? How do you think we can peacefully attain that?
I so believe that where there is no law, there is no sin. Black people, we are special beings, as I said earlier on. And I believe if we will follow due to rule of law of any state, where we're staying, being it America, being it any part of Europe, Asia, any part of this world. Firstly, we should know the system, what works for these people, how we can follow the due process, learn what these people are doing, behave ourselves well so that we'll not be discriminated. But when we behave differently, these people look at us as if we are not human beings. So, firstly, I will advise the best way to promote a peaceful coexistence between blacks and any other ethnicity is first follow the law. Once you follow the law, they will look at you differently.
Yeah, you're right.
But black people, in a nutshell, some black people so believe because we are special beings, we are this smart, we are more smart. So we believe by cutting across laws, will make us earn more or gain more.
Because people think the game has been rigged already, but
Yes.
that's not entirely true. You know,
Yes.
as you're saying, it's not entirely true. We also have to uphold ourselves
Definitely.
to the law and have these people not see us as weapons. Because if a black person is walking around, they look at you as a weapon, but
Sure.
which is not true.
Yes, sir. I so believe we as black people, we should respect our culture, because virtually every black man comes from has an origin, and in that origin there lies a culture, and those culture got their own rule of law, and there is no black culture that respects you to cheat each other, to violate any rule. There is no culture that said to you, no, when you gain more, you become more superior. No, that is not used in the olden days in Africa. This is not used to know who is the greatest. The greatest is being measured, greatness is being measured in Africa by the numbers of things you've accomplished. How many people have you been able to save? Have you promoted in one way or the other? So the moment we stop looking at European system by saying I have to accumulate as much as I can to be superior,
It becomes a hindrance to progress.
then we will definitely know the way forward towards our desired goal, towards a great black nation. This is my belief.
Yeah, you're definitely right. So as we're about to round up, how does the future look like for black people? Like, do you ever imagine the future for black people? What can we see as black people? What can we hope for as black people? What does the future look like for us? I'm allowing you to imagine anything right now.
Actually, when you say what does the future look like
for black people,
you can look at me. I was just looking up and I was just trying to imagine how great it is. This is a map of the world. the most beautiful continent on this planet Earth is where the black reside.
Yeah, Africa.
That is Africa. It has more resources more than any of this continent. It's more blessed more than any of this continent. It's more diverse more than any of these continents. That means that the God during creation, being it Allah, God, any form of being, a supremacy being you can call it, has embedded so many things in this continent that makes these people great. But you know one thing with ignorance, the earlier you know the power of what you have, the better you become. So I believe that as young Africans, as young black people, we should know either now, later, or someday, somehow, we'll definitely attain that goal we want, because greatness is in Africa. So we should start seeing it inside Africa. I believe those that have been abroad, either during migration, slavery, those that know what it is to govern countries, those that know what it is to extract these minerals in this continent should start living and start coming back home to build the continent where the Supreme God has destined for them. The greatness is not anywhere. It's not in the Atlantic Ocean. It's not any part of the Mediterranean.
It is in that continent.
It's in Africa. And Africa, as I say to you, either I am alive or not alive, is the greatest continent so far on this planet Earth.
I do support this. And then people would think maybe because we're Africans, but the truth of it is we're quite amazing, to be honest, and we're hardworking and so many things. So any last words before we wrap up this discussion? Anything that you would want the world to know about?
Yeah.
Why Black Lives Matter? And
I just want the world to know that black people are special people. Anywhere you take it, we are special people. And I will respect it. If the world will start respecting us and start taking us the way we are. Because today, tomorrow, nobody knows. But someday, Africa, black people will be great again. It's better for you people outside Africa, different race, to start respecting us, because someday, if not you, your great-grandkids will come to Africa.
And then they'll appreciate it.
And definitely, if you don't treat us well now, definitely it will run in the blood. And our children will treat you the same. This is my advice to the world. I'm not being racist, but I want to say I love being black. I am black. I am proud of being black. I would die a black man.
There we have it, the discussion that I had with the big man. This man is passionate about Africa. The ultimate peace talk and Isaac Yami. Me and the team, bye for now.